Alright, let's look at this problem. What is the derivative of f of x equals x to the fourth times e to the square root of x? Right? So let's review two rules, product rule and chain rule. Right? Product rule applies to the product of two functions. Right? So if you want to take the derivative of f of x times g of x, all you have to do is take the derivative of the first guy times the second guy plus first guy times the derivative of the second guy, right? And the chain rule applies to the composition of two functions. So if you want to take the derivative, all you have to do is take the derivative of the outside function first, leave the inside function as it is, times the derivative of the inside function. Alright, so let's do that. Right, if you look at this function, you can see that this is the product of two functions. Right, so this is the first guy, this is the second guy, right? So we can apply product rule to find the derivative. It's a little confusing because original function is called the f of x, and it's kind of confusing here, but just to think of it as f is the first function and the g is the second function. Right, so derivative f prime of x is equal to, right, so derivative of the first guy, so that's easy, right? So 4x cubed times the second guy, so you just don't do anything to the second guy, so e to the square root of x, right? One thing I would do is remember that the square root of x is equivalent to x to the 1/2 power. Sometimes this power form is easier when it comes to taking the derivative. Alright, so second term would be, right, first guy, so nothing done to x to the fourth, but multiplied by derivative of the second guy. So let's take the derivative. Right, this is actually a composition of two functions. So you see the exponential function here. There is a square root function. So exponential function is the outside function, and the square root function is the inside function. Right, so let's take the derivative using the chain rule. Right, derivative of the exponential function, derivative of e to the x is e to the x. So nothing happens. So you have e to the, right, inside function is square root of x. Right, but you need to multiply by derivative of the inside function, which is the square root of x, or equivalently x to the 1/2 power. So x to the 1/2 power would be put 1/2 in front. I'm just using the power rule, and x to the subtract 1 from the power, so it's a negative 1/2 power. Right, so let's clean this up a little bit. Right. Right, let's find something in common in these terms. Obviously, e to the square root of x. So those are in common. So I'll pull that out. So you have e to the square root of x. Right? Then you have x cubed also here. So x cubed. And there x to the fourth, there's a 1 extra x here. So I'm going to just circle 4 so that I know that there's another x left over. So we have x cubed is in common. Right, then from the first term you have 4. Right, from the second term what's left over would be x times x to the 1/2 power would be x to the 1/2 power. So it's a square root of x, so it's a square root of x, and then there's over 2, so it's over 2. Right, and if you don't like having a fraction in here, you can also pull 1/2 out. Right, pulling a 1/2 out, you're going to multiply. So if you factor out 1/2 from 4, that becomes 8, because we have to multiply by 2. Then if you pull out the 1/2 from square root of x over 2, so that's going to be square root of x. Then you have x cubed e to the square root of x. Right, that's the derivative that we are looking for. Alright, that's it. I hope that this was clear.